Hello and welcome to the garden for this, my debut low effort Q&A. Harrison Grange on Instagram requested this as discussed in the previous video, and I thought, yeah, anything with low effort that I can do, I'll do. But now it's Tuesday morning, it's 26 minutes past 5 on a Tuesday morning, and I haven't done a video, so I've come to the garden to do the low effort Q&A. You're probably in bed, so just think about that when you're slagging me off in the comments. Oh, Robbie never uploads. 5:25 in the morning. A bit busy at the minute. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, so we might as well start with Harrison Grange. It was his idea to have the Q&A. So we'll go straight in with his questions. What is your favourite sport outside of football, and what's your favourite potato-based dish? Favourite sport outside of football? To play tennis, I'd say. I like playing tennis. And to watch, it's between track cycling and either one of the winter sports, short track speed skating maybe, or border cross, ski cross, one of those ones. Winter Olympics are by far the best Olympics, by the way, and if you think otherwise you're wrong. In very few Summer Olympic sports can people die or get seriously injured, but almost all of them they can, even the ones that aren't dangerous, like cross-country skiing. They go, oh, that's cool, maybe let's chuck a gun in as well. Brilliant. Favourite potato-based dish? I mean, by dish, are you looking at more than just a sort of side thing? Patatas bravas, if it's got its own self-contained thing. Love Spain, love that. Okay, Steve Wallers on Instagram asks, what's the most exotic place you've eaten a potato? I don't really know. I think I've probably eaten potatoes in most places I've been to. Went to Costa Rica once. I imagine I probably ate a potato there. I can't totally remember, but that was pretty exotic. Let's go with Costa Rica. Oh, I had some chips in Barbados when I was 16. Probably that. Daniel Oughton says, I've sadly not entered the potato growing contest this year. I'm putting all my efforts into growing a human baby girl. I've managed to get her all the way to 17 whole months before considering jacking it in. My question is, do you have any hints or tips on getting her to school age with the least possible near fatal incidents? Daniel, I'd say you're probably being too safety conscious. First child, we were, I think, with Kitty, our daughter. We were always saying, no, don't do that, be safe, be safe, be safe. And she would, we saw her play with her dolls a few years age, and she was sort of going, oh, don't go too close to the edge, okay. And she was playing like health and safety games with them, and I think we possibly made her a bit too timid. And with my middle son, Otto, we've just sort of let him play in rivers and do what he wants within reason. I mean, you've got to keep an eye on them if they're in a river. And I think that's probably close to what you should be doing, I think. So don't come back to me if your child gets killed, but hopefully they won't. But I think you probably want to chill out a bit, Daniel. And we've chilled out back with Kitty, and she's climbing trees and stuff now and all that. So yeah, I'd say you probably can be less health and safety conscious than you think you need to be. Good luck anyway. Well done not killing them. Joshua Matthews asks, what's the best atmosphere you've experienced at a sporting event? Scotland games are always good, but I went to the Champions League final in Istanbul when Liverpool beat AC Milan after being 3-0 down and won on penalties after putting back to 3-0. And I'd say that was pretty good, if I'm honest. Yeah, great day out. Joe Beatty asks, what stretch of canal was that filmed on? I'm not sure this is for the Q&A or just curious out there. It was near Derby. I don't know what the canal's called. It's from the last video, the Red Dead Redemption one. Incidentally, not got that many views, that, and I think the reason is my face isn't in the thumbnail. And I know that sounds really arrogant, but I think people look at these things and they don't know. They're just flicking through and they don't know. They go, oh, I like Robbie, I'll watch that. That's probably the reason. I don't think it reflects on the video as a whole. I think it's as bad as the rest of them. Shelbs Putanias asks, what about starting your YouTube channel has surprised you the most? Is there anything about it you didn't expect? Love your videos, they bring so much joy to my week. That's very kind of you. Lots have surprised me. I didn't really know a great deal about YouTube. I mean, it makes sense that I do it now because I do for work. I make videos, so it's probably something to do. But it was actually my friend Will Brazier, who works at Sporth, some of you might know. Will, he he was the one who got me to do it. I said, well, there's not really much, I don't think any real interest in my life. And he said, there's quite a lot of people who are 18 going to uni doing vlogs. I don't know what that looks like. I'd quite like to know what it looks like to be middle-aged. Bit offensive, but I get it. So I'm waffling slightly here. Let me read the question. So what surprised me the most? The comments are really nice. Like, my sort of knowledge of YouTube comments was from a few years ago when they were basically the worst thing on earth, and so I've never really looked at YouTube comments since, because I thought they'd be rank. But everyone's really nice. It's very rare that someone says something unpleasant. In fact, I don't think anyone does really. So that's probably surprising the most. I'm also surprised that people are interested in any of this stuff. Like, I sort of get it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was slightly interesting. But I think some of you really like it, which I'm surprised by. I thought people might go, it's all right. But there's quite a lot of choice. So thank you for watching. It is surprising. Maura Davis Wall. My questions plural. Bit greedy, Maura, but we'll forgive you because, like I say, desperate for content. Do you have another job besides YouTube videos and child rearing? Don't get paid for the child rearing. It doesn't really count as a job, but I suppose it's something I have to do. So yeah, it's a bit like a job. Yeah, I run a video production company. We make videos for. I know a lot of you going, what really? I genuinely, despite what you see around you, I do make videos for a living. We do stuff for clients like Carling, Carlsberg, EA Sports, Puma. I can never remember them. There's quite a lot of them, quite good companies. A lot of stuff for digital things. So, for example, what might you've seen? The Carling Goal of the Month videos, the little short list you might see, the best goals, we make those. For EA Sports, there's a show called Top Bins about the game FIFA that was on quite a lot this season, that make those. Lots of little bits and bobs. So yeah, making videos. So yeah, it's all right, pays the bills. Amara's other question, is your moustache really the one calling all the shots? No, my moustache might just go one day, I don't know. I had a beard for years, and before beards were a thing, everyone's got beards now, and people would make fun of you, and they'd shout at you in the street. They go, "Hey, Justin Lee Collins," or Serge from Kasabian. And Serge from Kasabian doesn't look like Justin Lee Collins, so you can look like one or the other. But what then people were just going, bloke with a beard, so it was unusual. And now beards have become popular. So this is basically just for the men out there. This is the style you'll probably have in about 5 years, just to let you know. And the same people that now laugh at me with a moustache, because occasionally someone will shout something like, "Ooh, 118" or something, or Super Mario Brothers or something like that. Which, don't mind that one, that's quite good. But the same people, men there, are the same sort of types that now have beards or wouldn't have a few years ago. So men who are thinking of shouting things, you don't know what the future holds for you, facial hair really. So just think of that before you shout things. Don't have a bloody clue, asks Oasis or Blur. Always Oasis, certainly back in the day. No band has influenced me more, I would say. Now though, if you had to say you can go and watch a gig of one of the two bands, I'd like to go and see Blur, because I only ever saw Blur once, so Oasis quite a lot. So yeah, I think I'd probably like to go and see Blur. Yeah, so always Oasis now. Not as sure. Big Mango says 4 questions if that's all right. Jesus Christ, Big Mango, don't hold back. But yeah, absolutely fine. It's a free-for-all on this channel. 1, how did you meet your wife? I met my wife through my neighbour growing up was a girl called Arthur Ramu. She killed a shrew. She went to university with my wife, and then years after that I met her in 2005 it would have been, at a thing called Rocket Ramu she had, which was like a music festival she had in her garden, which was brilliant, that we used to do back in the olden days. And there's actually a photo, weirdly, at a party that Arthur had years ago I've got, and I probably can't find it, so if you're expecting it to appear in here, I can't be bothered to look for it because it's 5 in the morning. But there's a photo of me and my friend Jim on a sofa at a fancy dress party, and my wife's arm is in the chair next to me and the sofa next to me, so I sat next to her years before I met her. There you go. Take from that story what you will. 2, how did you meet Jack Mate? I met him on a thing for Amoy called feast on the streets, some branded content thing. You can hear the full story on his happy hour podcast thing. I put the link up, one of those card things there, or the link down below. Somewhere you'll find the link. Just look it up, really. I won't tell the whole story now because it's there, and you can just sit there if you really want to know. Number 3, do you miss working on Soccer AM? No, I don't miss the show. It was a great job. I love working there. It was a great job to have in your 20s. But I mean, it was long hours, and it was like, you can't take a Friday, have a Friday night off. You're tired on Saturday, sort of thing. You can't take any holiday during the football season. I like skiing, so I like to take a holiday during the football season. What I do miss about it, I miss the people. I miss working every day with the people who were there, and some people are still there at Tubes. I miss working with Tim and Helen and Fenners and all the others. Not really Neil, so I miss that, and this is going to sound a bit weird, but I miss the adrenaline rush of a live TV show, because there's quite a buzz when you're getting towards the show starting, and there's a sort of countdown in your ear to going on air, and there's nothing you can do. You can't go, I'm not ready, because it happens at a certain time, and there's quite a rush of doing live TV. Does that sound a bit weird? There is anyway, so I miss that. Number 4, have you ever considered starting a podcast? Yes, I've done a couple of podcasts in the past. One was called Milk Faced, it was about parenting. There's no point looking for them because they're not online anymore. You can't get them. And the other one was called Thinky Thinky Make Make, and it was about creativity and the creative process and the minutiae of making things. I had good guests on that, really good guests. But I'm not allowed to talk about it, but yeah, there is something podcasty happening next month that's going to be, I'm really excited about. It's going to be good. So yeah, stay tuned. But yeah, there will be podcasty stuff coming out in June. Michael Cutler asked 2 things. One, also being a father of 3, I'd be interested in how you manage the work-life parenting balance. It's something I think about quite a lot, Michael. It's a great question. This is, I think, the deepest question so far. In 2009, I got made redundant from a job. We were doing an internet TV thing, and it wasn't very nice being made redundant. And I then started up my business as much because I didn't really want to get made redundant again. So I think that people talk a lot about having job security and that, but I think there's an inherent lack of security about working for someone else, which is slightly off topic. But since then, I've kind of intentionally designed a life that I want, and it takes a lot of time, and I have quite a lot of time to spend with the kids. As for work-life parenting balance, I think it's important to do all of them and embrace them fully when you're doing them. So I think there's times when I'll work very hard and just do it and get things done. There's lots of times I don't do this, by the way. This is the theory, not necessarily what happens. And parenting, I think when you're parenting, when you hang out your kids, you should hang out your kids and go, yeah, kids, play with the kids, do things with the kids, go on the trampoline with the kids, do all these things. And life, I think you need to do things that are just for you as well. And I think my wife does as well. And I think there's times when you want to go out together and do things, but also I think it's good to do it's healthy to do things on your own, like, for example, go to Canada skiing for a week with your mates. I think it's very important that everyone does that. Michael's second question, what's your favourite moustache throughout history? Ian Rush, John Aldridge, Daley Thompson. It's one of the 80s ones, that's the inspiration. I don't want one of these fancy ones, nothing too cool going on here, just like a proper 80s just moustache. Bob Melling asked, would you be able to live without the humble potato? Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd be stuck for content here. I'd have to grow something else. Yams. What is a yam? Is a yam? I think a yam might be a potato. I think it might be a sweet potato. I'm not sure. I'd have to go carrots then. I don't know. I eat potatoes quite a bit, but I'd probably be all right if I didn't have them. Be fine. There's things I'd be unhappier to lose. Mark Robertson asks, where were you born? I seem to recall a Scottish connection. My parents are both Scottish, but I was born on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent. I support Scotland at football. I would call myself British or European, perhaps. So I like Scotland, but I never lived there, so it's a weird thing. I don't understand how, when you divide things up, because if you've got one parent, they go, oh, you're half Scottish. If you've got 2, you're fully Scottish. But then, does that mean if you've got 2 people who've been born in England and their parents have been born in Scotland, they get married and and have kids, is that kid fully Scottish, even though their parents have never lived in Scotland? I don't know. They need to work on the system a bit better. I don't really know how it works. Dan Muddle says, how did you find it becoming a dad? It's mental. It's mental. It's probably a long story. I ended up delivering our first daughter Kitty on the bathroom floor on my own. That's probably a video in itself, so I won't get too into it now, which is a pretty mental experience anyway. But I think it's a lot of people. I think I cope not too badly with it. But I've seen friends who've really look like they've seen all the horrors of the Vietnam War after about 4 days. People don't really prepare you for how much it changes your life. Oh, well, they sort of do, but no one listens. Like, people always go. I saw someone the other day with a kid, and they go, "Oh, no one tells you how tired you get and how little sleep you get." Like, literally everyone says that. That's all anyone says about having kids. So, in answer to your question, I found it all right, but it is very difficult. I think the first 2 weeks are mental, and people who've had kids will probably recognise this. Then it settles down a bit, and then after 12 weeks, it gets a bit easier. But there's lots of psychological things for men, and I think particularly women with postnatal depression and things like that people don't. He likes the videos. So things like that people don't really talk about as much as they probably should. So yeah, maybe that's something else we'll talk about more in the future. But yeah, maybe do a video on parenting. It's brilliant though. That's the other thing that people don't really say. But everyone always goes, particularly men, they go, "Oh, you're so good writing your nights out, or you won't get any sleep now." But it's so brilliant having kids. It's so brilliant, and I love it. And although there are hard bits, it's so rewarding learning about their little personalities and watching them grow up and things like that. And it goes so quickly, and it's brilliant. So yeah, people don't really say that as much as they should, but it's brilliant. Dan Trelfer, who's a friend of mine, asks, who is your coolest friend and why? Not him. My coolest friend, it's probably between, I've got a couple of friends who are abroad, Desi and Fons. Desi is a wealthy Norwegian man that I met on the internet. It's not weird, don't worry about that. And Fons is his friend, who's a businessman type from Amsterdam. And Fons is I think Fons might beat Desi. Fons, he lives in Amsterdam, he's called Fons. He's brilliant. He lives the life he wants. He goes skiing. He just goes in the summer and buys wine and stuff like that. He's done well, built up a business, sold it off until recently lived in a converted church in Amsterdam. It's fantastic. Fons is the coolest friend I know, followed shortly by Desi, but they're both cool. Gord Leonard has a question about tubes. If you had to fight one or the other, would you fight 50 potato-sized Peters tubes or one Peter-sized potato? The potato-sized Peters, just destroy them. I mean, what do I have to do? I don't have to kill them, do I? That'd be quite dark. I could fight them off. Little tiny Peters, just kick them or something. Jack Betty says, noticed in an older video you had a t-shirt with ice lollipops on it. I have the same t-shirt. You're obviously a man of taste and class, but I haven't seen it on you again since. Where is it? It's a summer t-shirt really, and so it's not been out in the winter, but it's in a drawer up there, nicely rolled up, KonMari style. Follow through with that. It's brilliant. Do that. Do KonMari your clothes. It's so great every morning when you go and get dressed. Oh, brilliant. Love it. Gordon, hi Robbie, have you ever been to Africa? I love these questions. That's my favourite question of it. It's so weird and random. I've been to Egypt for a day, and the Canary Islands. I think the Canary Islands count as Africa, don't they? I've been there. I haven't been to like sub-Saharan Africa or anything like that. I'd quite like to. I'd love to. I might go to South Africa soon. My friend Donna lives there. Hi Donna. Platinum Katie on Instagram says, my question is, if it doesn't work out with your lovely wife, can I be next in line? Love your personality. Emoji with heart for eyes. P.S. My husband says he doesn't mind because he loves your videos too. Yeah, that works for me. So we'll have that as a plan, but I don't know, if your husband's on board as well, maybe the four of us can work something out. I'll message you. So there we go, that's the end of the low effort Q&A. Hope you enjoyed it. Something to do in it. If you did enjoy it and you got more questions, let me know. We can do another one of these at some point in the future. If not, I'll just go back to looking at potatoes, which I can see them here. They're looking great, but we'll save that magic for next week. If you're planting potatoes and around the same time as me, you will know how great potatoes look at this stage. I didn't even have to fill up my coffee. That's just about finished now. So really a great low effort video. Thanks for that. It's nice being in the garden at 5 in the morning though. I think I'm going to do more. Just coming out here and sitting around the garden. Yeah, brilliant. Just watching.